So let's talk about the three very, very fundamental truths or realities or perspectives that live in the American psyche. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is what makes up America. So let's talk about that. So let's start with the last one, the pursuit of happiness. So there are, I suppose, 3, 4, 5 different parts to what it means to be human. There is your physical life. If you have no food, it's difficult to be happy. If you have no shelter, it's difficult to be happy. If you have no clothing, unless you're walking in like a nude beach, you probably won't be happy. There is the emotional life. Some people have crummy parents, so the moment they open their eyes, their parents just frustrate them. The parents are abusive. Some people take classes such as this, and the class frustrates them, creates negative emotions, makes them unhappy. If we hang out with people we don't like, even if you like them, after a while they get boring. So emotionally you feel repressed. Intellectually, life is complicated, life is difficult. At every corner lies an issue, a problem to be solved. You don't have the right tools. So more confusion, frustration, anger. Spiritually, well, we don't really have much of a soul, so that's out the window. Because we spend most of our time trying to figure out what the hell to do with our physical bodies, where we should take them, so we could have a little bit of fun, find an oasis, something that removes us from the difficulties of life. Then you deal with old age. Then when you do get old, you have to hang out with young people. Then you fall in love, you get married, you're happy for a day or two. Then you realize that psychologically you're very different from your companion, temperamentally you're different, historically you're different. Then you begin to bicker back and forth. Then you realize how miserable you are. Even if you happen to have a great relationship, at a certain point you want to have children, but you have no idea what it takes to raise kids, to have kids. They take everything from you, everything. Your life, your money, your youth, and in return you get nothing. It's just a one-way relationship, and it's profoundly abusive. Then there comes a point where you pray for a good, quick death, but you realize every time you pick up to eat some food, there is so much poison in it that eventually you're going to get yourself sick in some shape or form. You're going to find yourself in the hospital, slowly, like a sick little animal dying away in a miserable death. About 85 to 90% of human beings die painful deaths. Add to it the fact that we struggle for 50, 60, 70 years to figure out what the hell to do with our life. But because America is a young culture, like a young person, and because being a young culture, very much like a young person, we don't have the desire to reflect deeply on anything. You're guided by hopes and dreams and fantasies. No one talks to you about the dangerousness of life and the dangerousness of existence, but they do something better. They advertise bumper stickers, the pursuit of happiness. So you come to this class to become happy. You get married to become happy. You get a job and make money to become happy. You go to a party to become happy. In fact, we are so gung-ho about this ideal that all of us walk around assuming that life owes us happiness. And just in case life delivers an event that's negative, that creates unhappiness, misery, struggle, suffering, we complain. America is the only country that I know of that promises its citizens happiness, and they have the right to pursue happiness. They don't tell us what it is, and even if they would, they won't give us the tools to get there. You know, it's like pro-lifers. Look at all the, not all, but look at those in position of power who talk to us about the sanctity and the sacredness of life. All right, so abortion is a crime against humanity and against God. All right, so you won't terminate your pregnancy. 60 weeks, this thing is inside you, grows, then it comes out. Then you say, can someone give me health insurance? No one will. Can someone give me a roof under which my kid can live comfortably? No one can. Can someone lower the price of diapers, formula? No one cares. And you realize that pro-lifers don't really much care about what happens to you after you come out. They just want you to not be terminated. Whether you become a drug addict, whether you don't have health insurance, you don't have money, you become homeless, whether you suffer from some mental illness, no one cares. And just in case you don't have the tools to survive life, they get demonized, get sent to jail. And then they create this illusion that, well, you're an individual. Go out there and be happy. But what you fail to realize is that America is a land of advertisement. They tell you where to go, what to do, how to be. They create emotions, they create desires, they create temptations, and you have no choice but to pursue them. So, as an American, you're born with a lot of expectations from yourself, from life, from other people, but that's not the way life works. So when you go back about 2,000 years and look closely at the four Gospels, what you have, according to Jesus, this great philosopher who lived some 2,000 years ago, is that, listen, the world is like when you walk to the ocean. It's filled with sand. It's loose under your feet. Don't build anything on it. Walk into marriage cautiously. Buy a house cautiously. Get a job cautiously. Because at any time, life can take those things away from you. It could be natural disaster, it could be man-made, it doesn't really matter. And because it's a new culture and people happen to be unreflective, very much like young people, no one reads, no one thinks. And it's a culture that's filled with drugs and alcohol and, all sorts of poison. People just fall victim to all forms of advertisements. But in their heads, they assume that they're pursuing this thing called happiness. So that's number one, that America is the only place that injects in your head that in fact you have every right to pursue happiness. When in fact in life you only have really one good choice, damage control. You go to school not to be happy, but to secure your future. You get a job not to be happy, but to pay rent. You have a boyfriend not to be happy, but just to escape from loneliness. Liberty. I don't want to come to Laney College and work anymore, but sometimes when I go without food, my body screams, give me some food. And all of a sudden I realize I'm held hostage by hunger. Sometimes I go home and I look at my wife and I realize we have nothing in common, but I realize we have a 20-year relationship. What the hell am I going to do? Look at it and say I'm out? How about guilt, shame? What am I going to tell my parents? And all of a sudden I come to realize not only am I held hostage by my own emotions of guilt and shame and remorse and all that, but what do I tell my parents? At this age, if I was to walk away, what the hell am I going to do in a couple of years when I get really, really old and can't walk, being held hostage by old age, sickness? There are days I wake up from an afternoon nap and I'm just in a pissy mood. And I don't want to be in a bad mood. I want to go out and have a good time with life. But my mood captures me. I have no way out. So I realize I'm just walking around with a good amount of anger inside me. Some of you in this class are completely bored. I don't blame you. What the hell are you going to do? You're held hostage by that. There's another option. You can pack your stuff and leave and suffer the consequences. That's another force that's going to hold you hostage. I pursue things that make me happy. I obtain them. And after a while, I lose interest. And then I'm held hostage by my own ability to reflect and ask, why did I pursue this in the first place? I want to sit and just relax. I just don't know what the hell to do with boredom. I feel restless. I feel hostage by that. I want to be creative, autonomous, but I wake up at 6 in the morning, I run around like a rat. I go home, I have no energy left inside me. I'm held hostage by exhaustion. I have to go to Roseville tomorrow to help my parents with the car wash. I really don't want to go, but it's my parents. I'm held hostage by the history I have with them. If I don't go, I know that my father is 92. He's got to do all of this by himself. That would make me feel guilty, more than guilty. It would make me feel shitty. There are days I look myself in the mirror and I say, Amir, what the hell have you done with your life? And the conclusion is, nothing. It's been a complete waste, filled with regret. How am I free? I'm held hostage by my physical body, by my emotions, by my intellect. Even moments when my spirit, if there is any, comes out and says, do something before you die. I have no answers. So first, I have no idea where to go to find happiness. Second, I don't even know what the hell it looks like. So, like a blind brat, I'm just running around trying to pursue something I've never known, never seen. Turn on the TV, I look at Beyonce driving a Rolls Royce topless. I mean, it has no roof. I say, that's happiness. I slave away for 20 years, save enough money to buy myself a nice car. I leave the house around 6. I get stuck in traffic. And even when I want to just remove the top to have the wind flow through my hair, I come to realize I have no hair left. Eric Fromm wrote a book many years ago, Escape from Freedom. What the hell do you do when you find yourself without any obligations and responsibilities? You know what boredom is, right? Boredom is that you become completely detached from everything, anything under the sun. You can do whatever. You can go wherever. You can think whatever. But you realize that in complete freedom, you are restless. You need someone to guide you, to give you a GPS. Some of you in this class are single. Some of you have been with a companion, but you got either dumped or you dumped that person. You're free. But sometimes you look at two people holding hands and you envy them. You resent them. You become jealous of them. You're by yourself, you can do whatever, but no, that's too much freedom for you. You want to be held hostage. You want to be owned by something, by someone. None of us want to be free. It's too much. Imagine your fridge is filled with ingredients. You have the freedom to cook anything. You think about what your taste buds desire and you say, oh, my taste buds have no desire about anything. I can cook anything. All of a sudden you realize there are so many options that the only thing you can eat is confusion. Should I eat a burger, hot dog, chicken tikka masala, sushi, pizza? And then you say, you know what, I'm going to go to sleep. It's too much work. I don't know what it means, the first component, life. What kind of life they're talking about, I have no idea. After the death of Socrates, the philosophy was broken up into three main branches. One of them happens to be Epicureanism, the desire to pursue pleasure. Is that what I should do with my life? Is that what I should pursue? Pleasure. You know, my first marriage, I pursued her beauty, only to realize I don't like what she has to offer me. That happiness soon turned into misery. My second marriage, man, she was a poet, but I realized that she's a complete mess. She goes through mood swings every 10 minutes. The house is a mess. She can't cook. She can't do anything right. So that pursuit went down the hill. I have lived most of my life pursuing pleasures only to realize that they devastate me a few minutes later. So look around you then. Mental illness, depression, loneliness, suicide. These are the hallmarks of being American. John Kerry, who was some politician in the Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton era, I remember one day he comes on TV and he says, if Americans want to be stupid, it's their right. They have every right to be stupid. Why would you say that about your people, about your country? Because the belief is whatever people want to be, that's their right. And we're not there to protect them from harm's way. What's the most powerful money-making machine in this country? Pornography. It's everywhere. Pursuit of happiness. You drive on the highway, there are all these advertisements. Will sell you a gallon of weed for like 50 bucks. Advertisement. Pursuit of happiness. That's the meaning of life. The problem with all of this stuff is that America is a rich country. It has abundance of goods. It has power. Have you ever heard of the saying that youth is wasted on the young? There are so many things I want to do. My body won't take me there. There are so many things that you can do because you're young, but you're always going to the wrong places. And you have to get to my age to look back and say, shucks, I missed all these opportunities because I was stupid. If you really want to understand what America is, read The Prodigal Son. It's a young culture, like a young kid. It has to live another 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 years to learn how to be repentant, to make a lot of mistakes, earthquakes, wars, famines, stock market. When everything crashes and crumbles, then you may come to realize that the Buddha was perhaps right. That life isn't about the pursuit of happiness. Life is about making sure you don't suffer as much. And if you happen to be very, very advanced, you find happiness in the way you suffer, because you know that's your outcome. At every corner there's going to be a disappointment waiting for you. How are you going to deal with that? Because life doesn't give a shit. Life is there for one reason, to give you moments of joy and then steals it. If you look at all the philosophies of cultures that have been around for a while, what they have in common is the following. They don't tell you that you should live a happy life. They have stories, ideas as to how you should cope with disappointment, with suffering, with pain. There's a reason why people suffer so much in this country. There is no good philosophy as to how you should suffer. Don't take classes because you want to be happy in them. Don't take classes because you want to be inspired by ideas. That's the wrong approach. You live in life. Life is about politics. You go to school for one reason, to get your bachelor's, hopefully to get your master's, to get a good job. If you have some leisure time at the end of the day, go sit read a good book. That's where you can find moments of joy. But for the first 15 hours, it's just misery, obligations and responsibilities. You don't get married to be happy. It's just nice to watch a movie with someone.